Seems like 1,000 years ago. I fought my way out of that cave, became Iron Man. Realized I loved you. I know I said no more surprises, but I was really hoping to pull off one last one.
The world has changed. None of us can go back. All we can do is our best. And sometimes the best that we can do is to start over.
I saw all these people die.
I keep telling everybody they should move on. Some do, but not us.
Even if there's a small chance, we owe this to everyone who's not in this room to try.
We will. Whatever it takes. Whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes.
I like this one.
Ooh, whatever it takes. Whatever it takes. Welcome everybody to BOT10 Art. My name is Lazaro Gomez, and this is the Friday night live stream. Yet another Friday night live stream, and I put out the word on all my social media sites what we should be doing tonight, and everybody answered the same thing. So traditional drawings or some kind of illustration would be kind of cool to see again on the live stream as we've done in the past, and of course I'm here to accommodate that. We are definitely going to do a piece, an illustrated piece tonight. I got it kind of set up already. I did a little sketch here, and being that the Avengers comes out this weekend, or it's already out, I guess, for some, we have people who have already seen it. We have other people who, some people have seen it, some people have not seen it, and we're kind of stuck in the middle. But I thought it'd be kind of cool to do Thanos related piece, I guess. So I chose to do his armor. I chose to do his armor as it exists in the Scarecrow form. So in the comics, the Scarecrow looks a little bit different than it does in the movie. Of course, it's an adaptation, but I did like the way that it looks in the trailer of Endgame. So I decided, that'd be a good one to do for the live stream. I think everybody would enjoy that. And it has been a while since I've done any kind of watercolor illustration, so I'm gonna be extremely rusty, but I'll do my best to get this piece done. And also, I was thinking about trying to get my chat here. That's why I keep looking to the side. I apologize for that. Let's see where we're at. Oh, I gotta pop it out. But I was thinking that perhaps at the end of the live stream, I'll choose somebody to give this to. I'll choose somebody to give this piece away, so that they can have it as a memory to tonight's Friday night live stream and also the experience of watching the Avengers Endgame. So that's the plan, and we're gonna go with that. If you're new to the Friday night live stream, this is what we do on a weekly basis. We kind of all come together and we just we hang out. We hang out and we do some artwork or some kind of project or something like that, and we keep going from there. So let's see. Enable live chat. Oh. All right, so there's something wigging out with the chat on YouTube. It's always something. But tonight I'll be using my Dr. Martin's Bombay India inks, which look just like that right there, and they are highly concentrated. They are inks, but you can water them down and they perform just like watercolors. So I'm excited about that, and it won't do it. All right, I'm kind of flying solo, but I am doing the live stream to different locations, not only YouTube, but also Twitch, also Facebook and D Live. I'm running everything through Restream, so if the chat comes up, it'll come up there, and hopefully I will see what all of you are saying to me. If not, I'll go back and check everything out afterwards. So we'll see how it goes. I'm going to give it one more chance. Let's see. I'll give it one more chance to see how if the chat comes out or not. But anyways, I hope you guys had a wonderful week. I know I did. I had a busy week. It was good though, and of course, it's funny. It's funny to just hear and watch everybody like either talk about the movie or try not to spoil anything for anyone, or also just in general, being very antsy to watch this movie and oh my god, it's my turn, and of course the movie is sold out. It is a pretty big deal, and hopefully it turns out to be a good film, which I don't doubt that it, I don't have any doubt at all that it's going to be a great film. And for someone like me, I tend to not go to the theater very often, so usually I go to the big blockbusters, and this one is definitely it. So so I'm excited about that. All right, let's see. Okay. We're gonna abandon the chat on YouTube, so you guys are gonna have to kind of help me out. So let's go ahead and get started on this particular piece. I do have a reference material that I am going off of, and this is it. This is a still frame from the trailer, and basically, it has everything that I need to do the piece. Hang on just a second. All right. Okay, Mom. All right. So basically, this is the image that I want to go ahead and use as my reference. Like I mentioned before, it is from the trailer, and it's got everything I need. It's got all the colors and the way that I want it to look. So we're gonna go ahead and use that, and I want to keep it artistic, keep it more like a painting rather than a line art illustration and stuff like that. So that's the attempt. That's the attempt. Like I said, it's been a while since I've done anything with watercolor, so hopefully I get to accomplish my goal and what I'm trying to do. So I'm going to go ahead and start off with just laying down some water over the whole piece, and just kind of get the canvas wet. That way I can start using some of the inks. And like I mentioned before, the inks are so potent, or I guess they have a really high concentration of pigment in them that we don't need a whole lot because these things, like, they go far. They go a very long distance with very little ink. So you'll see that here in just a minute. But what I'm doing is I'm using just the smallest amount of water because I don't want the paper to buckle. I did not pre-stretch this, but I do want to get the canvas wet. And you know, you could kind of touch it and feel it and see how saturated with water it is. And that's all I'm doing right now, just laying down clean water so that when I start running the inks through it, they'll kind of merge through everything and give it a nice hue to the whole piece. So, all right, there we go. I would ask what everybody's doing this weekend, but obviously it's watching the movie. Everybody's gonna go watch Endgame. Alright, here we go. I'll probably catch the film later on. I'm not gonna rush out to the theaters right away and see it. I could hold out just to kind of, you know, let the buzz die down, I guess. All right, so we have a little bit of that. Now I'm looking at the piece, and there's blues on this side, and there's almost like a pink hue down here. There's yellow and fading into the white on the I guess the right side of that piece. So that's kind of what we want to go for. And this is India Ink Bombay Blue. Is it? Right. All right, hold on just 1 second. I'll be right back. All right, sorry about that, guys. So my lovely wife, who monitors the chat and everything else, came in to give me a notification that we were lagging a little bit. So hopefully that clears up. But over here on the side, you can't really. Well, let me close this real quick because you guys don't need to see the reference. But off to the side, I have a little bit of Bombay, and it's like the tiniest amount. It's like a couple of drops. A couple of drops will get it there. All right, get that. All right, I'm gonna put a little bit of water here real quick. Excellent, Mr. Smithers. Alright, so like I said, these pigments, they go a long way, so hopefully we will have something nice to work with. And what I want to do is I want the color to be the most potent close to the armor, and then I'll spread it out using water. Lindsay. Then now I can go back and kind of add more pigment where it needs it. And the cool thing about this piece is that it's got like a sunset. Well, it could be a sunrise too, but it's got a sunrise or a sunset in the background, so the piece is getting illuminated by the back end, or it has like this reverse lighting that's really cool. So a lot of the lighting is going to be on the left hand or the right hand side, and then most of the piece is going to be in the dark shadows. So I could actually use the same pigment to go ahead and do that. So I'm going to go ahead and put in the dark touches here, and just going off of the reference, putting the dark shades where they need to go. Not a lot, just, you know, here and there. All right. This is the cape, I guess, or it's kind of a cape that he wears like as a belt or a skirt of some kind. So that's all dark there. And this is good. I am happy with that. So I'm going to go ahead and clean this brush out, and then we're going to go ahead and start doing the yellow on the opposite side. So let's do that. Now this one, since it's yellow on this side, I do want it to run quite a bit. So I am getting the paper quite wet. What's up? Yeah, I tried to, sorry guys, I tried to bring up the chat, but it didn't work. And again, the very smallest amount will go a very long way. So same thing with the yellow, I'm kind of muting it a little bit. And that side of the armor is yellow, so I want that to stay that way. All right. Here we got some yellow, and we'll be able to spread that out nice and even. And a lot of the armor on this side has that same pigment. And then we can start fading it out to just the plain white paper. Just like that. And when you're working with watercolors, it's important to always go from light to dark. So you do everything in washes. When you first lay down some watercolor, it's real light, and you're like, well, you can't really see the colors all that well, but that's basically the concept of the watercolor. As you keep adding value and you keep adding all these different tones, that color starts coming out of it. And that's basically what you have to do when it comes to watercolors. You can't just like rush into it and, you know, try to get everything as dark as you can. So you kind of work in layers, and that's the neat thing that I love the most about watercolor, because it's like, you know, you're slowly taking your time and just kind of like building those values up. And that's one of the things that I enjoy the most, because it's so neat to kind of see it all come together, and you have these like really awesome way that the water gets the pigment and spreads it all out across the paper and stuff like that, and that's pretty cool. All right, so over here on this side, on the left side, there's like almost like a violet color. So I'm gonna get a little bit of this right here, and I'm gonna just add a little bit of violet on this side, and then that color is gonna be part of the, like, I guess the the skirt part, because it is like a vibrant reddish color in this particular image right here, and so I want to make sure that I kind of bring that into the painting with that particular hue. Let it be done. Yeah, that, again, I'm trying to do like a spoiler free type deal. Hopefully nobody spills the beans, man. I haven't seen it yet. So in your opinion, let's see, who is the best Avenger? Everybody's gonna say Iron Man. We got Iron Man fans in here. Probably a lot of them. Oh, that's funny. For me, I like all of the characters. They all have like their own unique. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it, but they kind of all have their own unique attributes and the superpowers and everything else. Is just like that's what I enjoy the most. I enjoy the difference between all of them, and how they come together. So I do like that a lot. So I don't have a favorite. I don't. I don't have a favorite. I guess I better after this weekend, right? I better have a favorite Avenger. Alright, this is pretty much all in shadow here. Get a smaller brush for that, and we're gonna start putting in some shadows here. That's part of his drapery, or like, I don't know. I can't talk today. I can't talk today. I guess part of his cape or something. Yeah, he's got like some parts that drape down, and then as you can see in the reference image. Let's see. So yeah, like this part here, it's kind of like a cape type deal, and then down here, this is like a skirt or part of the armor, and that all goes into the darks right there. So if you were to kind of squint your eyes a little bit at this image, you could see where the lighting is right here in the middle, and it's hitting the helmet. So it's hitting all like the metal parts and stuff like that, and then everything else is thrown into darkness. So right around the middle, it looks like there's a J.J. Abrams light flare right here in the middle of his armor. But it's because of the light that's back here, and it's hitting this, and I'm pretty sure that on the ground this would be casted, or will be casting, a shadow, just because of the way that the lighting is. But yeah, that's kind of the idea, and that's what I want to do here. I'm kind of more interested in interpreting the colors rather than the feeling of the piece, rather than like super highly detailed illustration of the armor, almost as like a memory, almost like a memory. And then, like I mentioned before, with the watercolors, you just keep adding more color, and those values, they start building up, right? So each layer starts building up, and as it dries, it'll add a lot of value to that color. And let me try something out real quick. I just thought of something. Alright, we might experience a little bit of lag, but if we do, I'll stop doing what it is that I'm doing. But I'm gonna attempt to bring up the chat one more time. I just feel awkward because usually I talk to all of you guys, and it feels weird. Let's see if it'll come up this way. Maybe. Maybe we get lucky. I don't know. Alright, so I was trying to load the chat. I made a few changes here to the studio. Hey, there we go. I finally got my chat. Woohoo! Oh man, I felt so weird. Alright, so I'm gonna basically catch up a little bit here. Oh, Scully's killing it with the references. That's awesome. Yeah, sorry about that, Leela. Again, I'm trying a lot of different things. So one of the things that I'm doing is I'm basically streaming to one location, which is Restream, and then Restream sends everything out. And there is a chat option there that supposedly like lets me see all the chats everywhere, whether I'm on DLive or Twitch or everything like that. Because right now we're live on Facebook, YouTube, DLive, and Twitch all at the same time. So that feature allows me to see all the chats all together, but that was not working. And then when I attempted to switch over to the YouTube chat, it just bogged down the system and it wasn't really working properly. So Lazaro stuck in the time stone. Nice. See, that's what I needed. I needed to see my chat. But yeah, so what I did is I just abandoned all of that together. We're just streaming like we normally do, but I shut that off and then turned on the chat on YouTube, and here we are. Here we are. So I can catch up with the chat a little bit while this dries, and then we're gonna start going into darker hues to kind of make all of these details pop out. So. All right, cool. It's working now. Everybody happy? Yay! Yeah, I apologize for that, everyone. Thank you for being so patient with me. But I do try a lot of different things, and I am trying Ant-Man. Dan, you like Ant-Man? That's cool. I am trying a lot of different things. I ordered a brand new mixer for my microphone, so hopefully I'll have that ready for the next Friday night live stream. And my beautiful queen will tell you that I'm always tinkering and experimenting and just trying to provide you guys really good content, because I don't want to, I certainly don't want to have like bad audio or a bad video or something like that. And I'm always I'm always messing around with something. It's like, well, what if I change this, and what if I made that, and make a video and keep going and stuff like that. But it's wild that way. But hopefully that will alleviate the lagging just a tiny bit. All right, cool. All right, so now that I'm all caught up with the chat, I can continue on with my piece. So over here, I definitely want to start going into the darker hues. There's a piece of wood that makes up the Scarecrow in this area here, and then in this area here. So that's going to start bringing in all the dark colors. And I know it looks kind of weird, now having this like purple looking thing on this side, but this is all going to go to the dark as I start mixing in other colors. But we could definitely start making this area here dark, just like that. And let's see. this is gonna make things a little bit darker on this side. And again, you know, I'm treating this more like a traditional painting than an illustration. So I definitely want to continue doing that. And then what I'll do is I'll go, that is like that. And this starts going into the dark areas. Like you have two different kinds of colors, and it's very basic knowledge. So anything that is blue or greens and stuff like that, those are known as cool colors. And then the oranges, reds, and yellows and stuff like that, those tend to be hot colors. So you're definitely seeing a transition from hot to cool in this particular painting here, and that's kind of where I'm going with it. So. All right, and we could start darkening it up, making it darker, I should say, not darkening it up. I'm telling you, man, this is nutty. It's like language failed me today. Oh man. Alright, here we go. So now I'm starting to I made like this really rich dark purple, combining the magenta, the yellow, and the blue, and it gave me like this really dark, rich color, and I'm really digging that. So as you can see, just like the image or the reference image, keep going back to that. You can start seeing on this side here where it's like there's some of the blues. There's that J.J. Abrams light flare that's happening there. But all of this, you know, immediately jumps into the dark. This area here, and then underneath the armor. So that's kind of what I'm working on right now. All right. So very loose, very loose, very abstract. Just like not even thinking about anything except laying down some shapes. That's it. Basic shapes that will help me later on to just kind of solidify everything. So there's some of the cape, and I took a little bit of liberty when it came to this kind of part here. I made it more like a ragtag type deal because they are obviously, it's nice and clean and neat, but for my piece I kind of made it to where Thanos has seen some action when he hangs this up. So I would like to think that happened in the movie. And you know, scarecrows tend to be that way. Scarecrows are like out in the field, and you know, they're crummy and all banged up and messed up. So that's kind of the way I'm treating this here. All right, that's looking good. I am happy with that. Again, more dark areas here. Just like that. Oh, we are late. We are late. It's time for our first segment of the live stream. Anybody? It's time for Strange But True. If you're new to the live stream, this is the segment of the live stream where I give you a strange fact that I find online and I share it with all of you. So I know it's a little weird, but it'll be fun. I was thinking of like maybe there's like strange facts about Avengers and stuff like that, but I didn't really find anything, you know, too juicy. Like we've had like really good ones in the past, and so yeah, I didn't want to chance it. But the trivia, I will give you a heads up. The trivia is Avengers related. I will say that. Alright, here we go. Strange but true fact of the week. Gotta pick a really good one. Oh man, that's a hard one. Alright, let's see. Here we go. The only letters that don't appear on the periodic table are J and Q. So I'll say that one more time. The only letters that do not appear on the periodic table are J and Q. I did not know that. I'm pretty sure you guys have are smart enough and you do know that, but I did not. I did not. So that was your strange but true fact. Oh man. So here's the thing, like since we've been doing a lot of different things on the live stream, it's a lot easier to just kind of build something, or like, you know, we did the Gundam models, or if I'm working on some kind of prop or something like that, it's definitely a lot easier to talk to you all and kind of stay on top of things while I'm doing it. But when it comes to illustrations, you kind of get lost and it's like, oh, I can't even run my own show. Oh man. So, you know, that's definitely a bad mark on me, I guess, but it is rather difficult to do so. But yeah, strange but true. There you go. Alright, so right now what I'm doing is there's a lot of contrasting within the piece, to where there's some dark areas and it's kind of playing with the light, and so I am using this little brush here to kind of basically bring in those details into the painting. And I did some of that right in this area here and right on top of the helmet, and this has to go to the dark. So that's, you know, that's one of those things that I love about watercolor, because it could be suggestive, like using the lighting and using shapes and stuff like that. It could be suggestive, like, you know, you're giving the illusion that there's detail there and stuff like that with just simple brushstrokes, and that's the beauty of watercolor, and that's why I love it so much. But at the same time, you could do some pretty tight illustrations, stuff like, you know, Gris Grimley does, or Casey Golden. She does a lot of watercolor illustrations, and you know, you could certainly do it that way. But like I said, for tonight, the goal was to kind of make it more like a painting. I don't know if that makes any sense to you all, but I hope it does. I hope it does. So right now, I'm just I'm utilizing the blue to just definitely push those colors to the back and to the cool side, especially on this side of the piece. And also, if you could do watercolor studies, or you could do lighting studies or color studies to kind of help you out if it's your first time doing watercolor. They usually tell you to start with like still life. So in essence, this kind of is a still life. Jack Daniels, that's an element of nature. Yeah, it could be. But when you're starting out with watercolors, they always tell you to pick pick a still life or something like that, because you kind of play around with the colors and all of that good stuff. So it's more, you know, it's more understanding the way that the pigment's going to react when you treat it as lighting rather than a pigment, if that makes any sense. So like you could paint a red apple, and then that apple, of course, is a three-dimensional object, so it's going to have high points, it's going to have low points, and then everything in between. So you have gradients of color, and you could do the same thing with watercolor, just by the washes. So your first wash is going to be the highlight or the lightest color, and then as you add those washes, you start developing the dark side, and that's basically what we're doing here with this Thanos armor. And I'm looking at the reference material and just kind of being suggestive with the with the shapes, with the color, and just kind of adding those details, even though I'm not being really high polished. I'm not illustrating. Uh, I'm painting. I'm basically painting with with the watercolor. And if you decide that you want to do some kind of watercolor yourself, that's what I would suggest you do. Just pick pick anything. Just pick anything that you want to start off with. Usually the simpler the object, the better off it is. So something cylindrical, or if you want to do a cube. I know that a lot of teachers like to start people off with the cube because you can basically shade all the planes of that cube, and that gives you an understanding of how lighting works and how it interacts with 3D objects. Alright, cool. Let's see. What's this? Nope, that's not what I want. I want to bring in a little bit of red. Actually, no. Hang on just one second. I don't want to use like straight black. I have right there, you can see I have Bombay black. I don't want to use black because there's nothing in nature that's completely black. It's kind of like an illusion. And a lot of people paint that way, or they like to add black right away. And there's, like I said, there's very rare something in nature exists that's 100% black. So usually, if you know anything about lighting, then black is basically absorbing all the colors of the spectrum, right? That's what makes black. And then white is reflecting all of the colors of the spectrum. And that's true when you're doing any kind of painting. It's going to be the same thing. So you don't want to rush right into the black. To be quite honest, if you can get away with not using black at all, you're going to be better off for that. But I will use just a little bit of brown because I want to start pushing this into the darker areas with the underside of the armor right in this area here. So not a whole lot. I'm not gonna go too crazy, but I do want a little bit darker hue right here, and then in this area here, I want that to get a little dark. There we have it. And then this part is really dark because it's like behind the armor. So there's a dark area there, and then inside the helmet here is dark. Oh, thank you very much. You want the thumbnail? You want the thumbnail as a piece? Thank you very much. That's too funny. You guys cracking up. Alright, so again, keep pushing this to the back, keep pushing it to the dark. And there we have it. Have you guys seen the movie yet? Anybody? I haven't seen it yet. Nope, haven't seen it yet. Then this is a little bit lighter here. The suggestion of color. Superheroes, superheroes. Superheroes are the big buzz, man. MegaCon is coming up. I'm sure a lot of people are excited. I know we were kind of kicking around the idea of whether we were gonna go or not, because we do want to go to Tampa Bay Comic Con and also Busch Gardens. So we're kind of like, well, what do we do? Do we go to MegaCon? Do we go over there? We don't know yet. So we're still kicking around, but MegaCon is coming up. Alright, there we go. That part is light there, and that goes there. Just like that. And right now I'm just kind of adding, certain details here and there, kind of tying it all together, building up those layers. We're good. We're good. Thanos. Alright, so what I want to do now is I want to expand the background just a little bit more. So I'm gonna add some color and then try to bring up that blue right in this area here. There we go. You good with that? And again, I'm not really adding crazy brushstrokes or anything like that. I just want to suggestively add that to the piece. Looking good. Alright, let's dry it up a little bit and then we'll get into trivia. Here we go. It's probably the best tool in my arsenal. Oh, a piece of wood fell. This is the best tool in my arsenal, man. The hair dryer. Alright, you ready for trivia? Here we go. Let's play some trivia. Oh, that's the score. I'm struggling today. Here we go. As I promised, I have some Avengers trivia. I just gotta pull it up real quick. Brain tickle. Brain tickle. Alright, you guys ready? Here we go. Here's some Avengers trivia. In what year did the Avengers make their comic book debut? In what year did the Avengers make their comic book debut? If you guys know the answer, you know how this works. Leave it in the form of a comment on this video, and I'll select a winner, and we'll tally it up to the board. We'll tally it up to the board, and then sometime in the summer, I'm gonna be sending out a box that's going to be filled with goodies for everybody. So there you have it. That was this week's Brain Tickle. Alright, that's gonna continue to dry. I think we're pretty much at that place where I like what we got so far. I do like what we got so far. So there we have it. There is Thanos armor as a Scarecrow. And that's, again, it's like, I know it's a lot different than my normal illustrations because I do use a lot of micron pens and stuff like that on top of the illustrations, but for this one I just want to leave it like that, just kind of suggestive, if you would, of the armor. So that was Thanos' armor, and that's gonna go to somebody. I don't know. I gotta figure out how I'm gonna pick who it's gonna go to. Maybe I'll pick somebody on Instagram or something like that. I have no idea. Have no idea how it's gonna go. But anyways, that's this week's Friday night live stream. I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. And of course, if you see the movie, let me know. Let me know what you thought about the film. Of course, without spoilers, and we can continue talking about the Avengers and all kinds of really good things. Don't forget, Sunday morning at 10 a.m. I will be doing my podcast right here. It's called Noodle Doodle, where we basically pick a topic, pick something to draw, and kind of shoot the breeze for about 30 to 35 minutes or so. And